Oh, Nate, we did another Eromanga-sensei. We watched it again.
We did.
You said anybody who watches the show is a bad person, so we are
mm-hmm.
confirmed at this point.
Yeah, you're right. I like to justify to myself as thinking that this is, like I was saying before, we're the watchdogs. We're the watchers on the wall, keeping the evil at bay. And hopefully we're continuing to do that this episode.
What did you think of this episode, Nate? Because this one's pretty clearly quite different. There's been people saying that they think this could be the best episode of the show. This is definitely one of the least bad episodes of the show. I don't know if it's as good as episode 8 was, where it really felt like a whole other show.
Well,
this one...
Yeah, okay, no, finish your point.
This one felt like another show, but in a different way. This one felt like another show in that it changed so much about the story that now it doesn't feel like the same fucking story anymore.
Well, like, the difference is, and I knew they were going to do this, because they always fucking do this in these shows, like, this is like all their, like, prepared material for, like, the main story. Like, they're now delivering it. So, like, we're getting everything that, like,
because we're on the second to last episode. So
exactly.
It
so
had to happen.
It's make or break time. It's time to lay it on the fucking line. So, like, everything I predicted is coming true exactly as I expected it to.
You called it
100%. 100%. Like, the first couple of scenes, I knew exactly where this is going, and so it has gone. And so, like, I'm bored by that, but at the same time, like, there's decent enough execution of how it's done where I'm like, oh, okay, you didn't fucking fumble the ball at the end zone. You managed to lock in those points. So, I'll give it credit for that. But I would be stretching it to say that I enjoyed this episode. And, we'll get to it. But, it's kind of hard for me to remember much of what happened this episode because, towards the end of the episode, there's a moment where, my fucking psyche shattered into 1,000 billion pieces and will never recover. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get there.
I suspect I know what it is going by
no, dude,
the fact that it's you.
I might surprise you. We'll see.
I don't know. All right. So, since we've assured everyone that they shouldn't watch this show ever, we're going to have to go through and actually describe the episodes so people know what we're talking about.
Okay.
This one's primarily a backstory episode.
Yeah.
The main, the present day story is simply... their book's getting published, the one that the two of them worked on together, and they're going to go to a publishing event for it, and, he's going and taking her on a fucking tablet or whatever via Skype. So that's the main thing, and then they're kind of reminiscing, and it's giving us the backstory of, like, when they were kids, and how each of them learned to write/draw, respectively. And, of course, as you predicted,
big surprise.
It turns out that way back when they were kids, our main character guy was writing web novels online, and it just so happened his only reader was what's her fucking name?
Sagiri. His very first comment ever on any of his books was Sagiri. What? And I'm going to come back to this, but like, wow, what a fucking coincidence that their parents happen to fucking get married. Like, how I was really hoping they'd like explain that. But frankly, I was thinking like maybe it's gonna be some like weird like Death Note shit where like Sagiri like engineered their parents getting together and some
that would have been fucking.
I know.
Epic.
I was hoping for that. I was hoping against hope, but that would have been fucking sick. But did not happen tragically.
I didn't even think about that. That would have been a great idea.
Yeah. But because the alternative is like a ridiculous coincidence that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing about this episode. What's weird about it is that there's stuff that works narratively and like for the characters, but there's also stuff that just turns the screws on the coincidence so fucking like hard that it just so she was literally the only commenter on his stories for like a long time, and she's of course the one who drew the first fan art that he mentioned that inspired him back in episode 1, which you had called. But there's a lot more to their relationship than was ever hinted at. Because it's not just that she, like, left comments and, like, sent him a fan art one time. They were, like, friends.
Yeah, they were buddies. They were fucking buddies.
They actively chatted in, like, chat stuff for, like, months on end.
They talked about, how inspired they were by each other. And, like, they had a fucking, like, spiritual bond going on between the two. And then, like, at the end, they just fucking sever it. It's weird, but we'll get to it.
So... all right, to go through this episode in order, just because that's how my notes are.
Yeah.
First of all, very beginning of the episode, Sagiri's waiting for her brother to come home.
Hang on, dude. Hang on. You're skipping a crucial moment. The very first thing that happens, like the first fucking thing, is we're getting like this emotional scene where Sagiri is, like you're saying, like she's standing there practicing, like saying, was it Okaide Nasai, like welcome home, big brother, whatever. And like the first thing we see is a fucking upskirt panty shot, like during this romantic scene. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Fucking focus, god damn it. Because I was thinking to myself, wow, you know what, I'm actually rooting for her right now. This is like cute, like she's really trying, like even though she's a piece of shit, she's trying to not be a piece of shit right now. I like that. And then wham, they hit you with the fucking panty shot. It's not time for that Eromanga. This show doesn't understand that it cannot be time for a panty shot, but
yeah,
whatever.
Well, this episode goes really ham on the fan service. Like the weird, lecherous, like just looking at them when they're doing nothing fan service.
Dude, that shot during the flashback of like the up the shirt mom shot when she's drawing and the like what that was next level shit, dude. That was I was impressed actually.
When that shot happens, they have not yet established that the mom is in the room.
Yeah.
So for a second, I'm thinking that we're getting this like really detailed upskirt shot of 7-year-old Sagiri, and I was like, whoa! I don't know why she'd be wearing a bra and panties at 7, but you know,
she wants to look good.
Not to say that they didn't sexualize young Sagiri plenty.
Yeah.
Like this 7-year-old girl was exclusively wearing like stuff that, you know, shows as much chest as humanly possible.
Of course.
You know. But anyway, the note I had was that at the beginning she has her hair tied up. It's kind of cute.
She's got a little bow thing going on.
And then he comes in and he puts this sun hat on her, and with her hair tied up and the sun hat, she kind of looks like a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
Like a customizable, like how I would customize my Pokemon trainer. And that made me start imagining like a much better show, which is which is called Pokemon.
Hey, it's finally time for the long-awaited follow-up, Summer Fashions Pokemon Style of 2017 now.
I actually had made like a summer fashion at the time.
Really?
But now would be the time to film it.
That's true.
But yeah, like, yeah, she kind of, I guess the reason I'm thinking that is that she kind of looks like Lily. That's her name, right?
Towards
Lily,
the end
of the
right,
game.
That's right.
When she's wearing the hat and she has
white
her
hair. Well, I guess she's blonde, but whatever. Light hair.
Yeah, I'd much rather be watching Pokemon Sun and Moon. That show is excellent, unlike this show,
which I have not seen because I don't believe you, but also do. I don't know.
It's Pokemon. I mean, it's
I'm turning my frying pan into a drying pan. I hear you loud and clear, dude. 10 out of 10. Okay, let's move on with this shit. What the fuck's going on? That's right, like, okay. Yeah, go on.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that, like, the opening scene, you know, I just want to read it. So, like, Sagiri, like, chickens out, saying, like, welcome home to Big Brother, and she, like, runs away, and then he has to, like, come up to her door and knock. I do like the moments when the show is, like, it is hinting, you know, it's showing the way that Sagiri, like, she's like upset that she misses things, and I just whenever it does that, it's like, it's good, you know, show her suffering, because it is suffering to live the lifestyle, and I don't know, just giving credit where it's due, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what like really fucked with my head throughout this episode. And it's all in the directing. Which, I mean, if there's one thing that we could say about this show, it's that they go out of their way to make Sagiri look sexy as much as they possibly can.
No doubt.
That's always been a thing throughout the show. You know, that Canepa video had explained that, like, the director, that was, like, his main goal was to make Sagiri as cute as possible, and he even had a Sagiri animator. And this episode, what was weird about it is that they did an amazing job of animating Sagiri as though she was actually his girlfriend. And what I mean by this is that she's constantly striking these little flirtatious poses.
Oh, yeah, I know
constantly,
what you mean.
Like, she's always just, like, saying things or doing things that a girl who's in love with someone would do, but, like, not one who's trying to hide it. You know, which I don't mean she's not trying to hide it, technically, I guess. But, like,
when she's alone, I guess she can let those things out, you know?
Even when she's with them, that like the part where she like slowly unzips her hoodie to show off the bathing suit, And then she's like, oh, but I'll show you the rest later. And then even after she zips it up, she strikes this really like sexy pose. And I don't know, that felt like stuff I've seen from a girlfriend before.
Oh,
I was
dude.
Just like,
okay, I'm with you. About that zip up shot, I just want to give a shout out to, in my opinion, the best voice acting in this entire show so far. When she zips back up and she's like, "No, you can't look till later." The yell of despair from his voice as he's like, "Ah!" as he can't look upon this young girl's her sexy ass bod. I felt that in my bones. He wants to see that shit. I like that. I legitimately like that moment. They're really selling his pedophilia or whatever. It's good. They committed.
Yeah, well, I have written down like that this episode was just lewd for me because I was watching it and constantly feeling like, man, she's acting like she is fucking him. Like just the way her mannerisms and everything, she's just going so far out of her way to like look sexy for him.
She was way more playful than normal,
Yeah. Like, she's always, the whole episode, the things she says and does. And then the weird part is that when we're reflecting on her as a kid, she was acting that way too.
Yeah.
She was playful and kind of like a teasing with him even when they were younger.
She was 7 at the time. 7.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. All right. Let's all settle down, Eromanga. Settle down.
So, yeah, it was odd just because that level of animating like a girl trying to look cute is kind of rare. Like, I don't see a lot of this. Like, imagine if these two were a couple. Then, like, them putting that much into it, I would have been, like, way into that. Like, oh, man, this is a really cute way to show, like, a girl who's, like, trying to be cute for her guy,
Sure.
Hey, that's nice. But in this show, it's weird because they're not together, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about it. Or, like, why has he not caught on when she's acting this way?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And does she realize she's acting this way? I'm not even sure,
I think she does for the most part. The bathing suit thing felt like that's her response, right? So he was just away on this like vacation to do whatever, and she's done stuff like this before. Where like when he gets back, she's showing like, hey, you got the goods right here too, buddy. You don't have to go run around with those sluts on the beach. I got everything you need right here. And I mean, even if that was subconscious, she's obviously reacting to like the fact that he just came back from like an island and shit, hanging with some slutty ass broads, and yeah, that's her trying to entice, and him just, of course, again, failing to get anything out of it or understand her intention in the slightest. Oh, you know what I did like though? I'm sorry, I meant to mention this before. When the moment at the beginning when she is going to say like welcome home, chicken's out. When he gets up to the top of the stairs and he knocks and they have their little exchange, and she, like the first thing she does is apologize. I legitimately thought that was interesting framing because like. It's so often you'll see an anime character apologize for no reason. Or, like, people do it in life all the time, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. But, like, they showed that, like, we understand that what Sagiri had done was, like, she was going to, have this big welcome home thing, and then when he actually gets up and, when she chickens out, she totally fails to do it. And then when she gets to the door and he knocks, they have their little exchange, like, she apologizes to, like, express that, like, oh, I failed at this thing that you don't know about, but that I know about, that I was going to do. I just thought that was cool, I don't know. I'm spending too much time on it for what it was, but I legitimately thought that was interesting. It was interesting to show that kind of thought process going on in the character's head behind the scenes.
Yeah. So jumping into the whole backstory shit, suddenly the main character, his writing speed is suddenly canonized as insanely fast. Insane. Which has never been the case up till now, because everyone has been able to write this fast. Everyone in the show has been able to pump out light novels in a single night.
Yep.
They've all been these like crazy machines of light novels. So it's always implied that that's just normal. That's just how you write a light novel here. But in this episode, Sagiri's reading his web novel, and she's she's asking him, did you stockpile these, or like because they all came out like at once? And he says, no, I just published them as soon as I'm done writing them. And she's like, holy shit, how's that? How can he possibly write this fast? There's one scene where he publishes like 6 chapters while she's taking a shower. like just in the span of one shower.
Dude, I want to sell that. That was my favorite moment in the episode, and it was legitimately hilarious. As she steps into the shower, 3 new chapters are published. As she then it cuts to her stepping out of the shower with 3 more chapters being published. That is fucking hilarious. Though again, like it does reinforce, like yes, this man actually writes like 1,000 words per minute. It's But it was for knowing that that's the case, fucking hilarious. I legitimately loved that cut. That was really funny.
I mean, I just think it's so weird that we've switched gears now that, like, yes, he is insanely prolific in universe. Like, that's not just something that light novel authors do. You know, I might not have felt so inspired to challenge, you know, like to try to write a light novel in a day had I known that the character is supposed to be an insane beast.
You got cucked into writing a light novel, dude.
Well, that's the thing. And that's what I want to, like, the main thing about this episode is that it changes a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of stuff that we've kind of taken for granted, this episode makes you question it, and, like, it gives more fucking depth to the characters than they've ever had in the whole show.
Yeah.
But in the process of doing so, it also just fundamentally alters your understanding of the characters and their relationship.
How so,
and then
How so?
Well, all right. I'll have to skip ahead to get to a really specific one. Let me erase my speed writing thing.
Okay.
Where's my fucking note?
I mean, I'm just looking in my notes as well, and oh boy. Okay, go ahead.
Here's like, so something I actually really like about the kid version of Masamune is that he thinks he's a genius.
Right, I like that.
This is why he's writing, like why he decides to become a writer, why he writes so fast, is that he's, like, convinced that he's some kind of genius. And as soon as he gets a little bit of approval, he's like, oh, I'm a fucking god. I'm such an amazing writer, you know? And, like, he runs to his dad and is like, I'm a fucking genius. And I was like, where did this go? Like, we've never had any hint that he was ever like this.
At the end of the episode, I feel like they might address this in the next episode, but even Sagiri says, like, man, what the fuck happened to that confidence when you were a kid, dude? Like, that was great.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's what I'm wondering.
And she says that, and it kind of comes off as it's a gag, you know, like...
Yeah, it does.
Because this whole show, he's
weird.
always been pretty I mean, he's made it clear that he enjoys his own writing, but he's been fairly self-deprecating. I mean, maybe he just got broken by commenters over the years or by his book not selling that well. Who knows? But, like, we don't know why. And he certainly wasn't like that as a kid. He really thought he was hot shit.
Are they just painting, like, the folly of youth or, like, the exuberance of youth? Is that what they're going for with that? Because it really felt like something more, like a real personality change happened at some point, and I want to know the fucking axis upon which it changed. What happened to this dude?
Because that could be an interesting character.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I mean, I feel like they're just gonna play it off because in this episode, Sagiri, like, reminds him a bunch of stuff about his old book, and he's like all embarrassed about it, like, oh, I was such an edgelord, and, like, maybe that's why, like, maybe he just grew up and rejects the idea, like, that he had as a kid that he was a genius.
Yep.
Which would be a lame way to do it, but at least it would be something, but we get no explanation.
Yeah.
We just know that as a kid, he had a very different level of confidence from what he does now.
Sure did.
And then we get into the whole fact that they were talking the whole time thing.
Yeah.
So, let's not even skip ahead to that. I gotta get through this other stuff.
Okay.
Kid Sagiri has short hair. That's kind of cute.
She was cute. Yeah, she was adorable.
She's an all right.
By the way, I thought Sagiri mom was I don't know. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, it's Sagiri. Oh no, it's her mom.
Yeah.
Okay, she's the same person. Just like Izumi's dad. Is that his name? Yeah, Izumi. Just him. Only he had a little stubble, so I could tell them apart. Whatever. Fuck. Who gives a fuck?
I like that his cringeworthy early novels are directly inspired by Sword Art Online.
Oh, I did not catch that.
He's got 2 volumes of it on his desk at the start, and I was like,
that's cool. Like any great writer, you know, he had a brilliant start. He had a brilliant motivation.
Yeah. I wrote down the other shoe dropped because what you assumed was correct, that she was the artist of the.
Let's just focus on this for a second, guys, because this is important. All right. All the time that we spent, this is actually very important, and this is like the most important thing about this whole thing we'll be discussing here today. All the time you invested as a viewer, like meeting all these other characters, fucking around on that island, meeting the smallest personality man in the world, your time was stolen from you. He's like like a fucking libertarian government man. That's him. That's what he is. All your time was just stolen from you. Was wasted. All those episodes. Remember Slut Girl with the dicks and whatnot? She doesn't matter.
Totally forgot about
her.
She
never mattered. She never mattered at all. Her whole quest to be friends with Sagiri was just an excuse to have Sagiri pull her pants down and sexually assault her in one episode. That was the point of that character. Your time has been fucking wasted, everyone, if you watch the show. So hopefully you just watch this podcast. Because there was never how many times have I said there was never a question in my mind. Sagiri is the fucking name of the series. It's Eromanga-sensei. It's about her. He's ended up with this fucking bitch. None of that other shit mattered. Only this mattered. Everything else was a fucking waste of time. All those other girls, terrible. Go away. Don't come back.
So here was the other massively game-changing character element. Like with the guy, we have the ego thing, but that doesn't really matter in the present. This does matter in the present. That Sagiri was always a hikikomori, or at least had hiki tendencies.
Yeah, right.
So it turns out that before, because her parents had gotten divorced, when she was a fucking little kid. And at that time, she started skipping school. And I don't know why the fuck her mom let her do that.
I was going to say, I wanted to bring this up because her mom is a fucking scumbag piece of shit if she just lets her daughter whatever, man, fuck it. Just stay home. Just, flit your life away on whatever the fucking bullshit you feel like doing. You have to be a responsible adult, you piece of shit. I'm glad you're dead.
Well, that's the weird thing is that she, she would ask her to, go to school. She'd be like, hey.
Weak piece of shit.
Maybe want to go to school? And then she'd be like, no. And she's like, well,
I tried. I did my best.
All I could think was,
that's why your husband left you stupid piece of shit, because you have no commitment. You don't know how to stick to a fucking plan. You're just a stinky neat. That's what you are. You don't deserve your daughter. It should have been taken away from you and given to your husband, who's obviously a better person. I can tell because you're gross. There. Yeah. I said it.
and I mean, where are child services?
I don't
haven't
know.
The school come to the house to say something? We've seen that in high school, her class president comes to fucking figure out what the hell's going on with her. Yeah. Where were they in middle school? Well, or elementary.
I mean, as I understand from my favorite manga, my favorite anime, Erased. Schools don't give a fuck about their kids at all. They're just like, whatever. Parents fucking abuse them. Don't give a fuck. If they don't come, whatever. We're getting the tax money, all the same, or the tuition money. So I
didn't even know
guess
you watched Erased.
I did not. I've just heard that discussion. I watched 3 episodes or something. Shitty show. Bam!
Yeah,
coming back with the Erased fire sucks. Okay, there you go. Suck on that. What the fuck were we talking about?
Thank God that meme's not dead.
Yeah, no, never die.
Well, anyway, she's always had hiki tendencies,
right.
So it's not just that she has been emotionally wrecked by her parents. Because this was something that's been bothering me about her character the whole fucking show, is that in the early episodes, because in episode 1, it's first suggested that she's in her room because their parents died and she was depressed about it. But then at some point, she's just kind of glibly states, oh, I just felt like I'd lose if I stopped now. Even though
no, that's the worst thing you could ever do.
Right.
Fucking dumbass.
And so through the whole show, there's been this weird confusion over the fact that she simultaneously does seem to have an emotional problem where she can't leave her room or talk to other people, but also doesn't because she acts completely differently, on Skype and stuff.
Right.
So at least this episode gives us an idea that maybe there's more to it than just that her parents died and she got emotional. She's always had these hiki tendencies. She's always been someone who will ditch school and stuff. So it just makes way more sense. It still doesn't really make sense, but it makes a lot more sense.
I did want to ask though. I was just unclear on one little fact. You're right about that assessment, but was I wrong that I think when they were talking in this episode, in the present, because this episode takes place in the past, a lot of conversations. But was I wrong that Sagiri told Masamune that there was some event that was specifically unspecified? She said I'm not going to tell you what my original trigger was that made me do.
Well, I thought it was that her parents divorced.
I thought that was I thought that was another one. Well, it doesn't matter though. It doesn't fucking matter. Your reading is all the time we need to spend on that shit.
Yeah. So we find out her mom was the original Eromanga-sensei.
Oh my God! Is that what it was? Was she actually her?
They didn't actually say that, but
Oh, okay. I thought
I'm
you meant
just
like she
saying
took
that-
up the mantle, and I like missed that. Okay.
No,
I'm with you.
I thought that was gonna happen. I
Would
thought
make
it was
sense.
gonna reveal that she had like
She
taken
is
her
like
name or
a
something.
literal clone in every way, the same
Yeah.
person. So
And same art style. So
I was so pissed when I was like, okay, that's just the exact same art style. This is like that doesn't happen. That's not real. But whatever. Who gives a fuck?
So yeah, the mom was also an Eromanga artist. That's why she draws in that style.
Lol,
I guess.
little girl says, but that girl isn't hot enough that it makes me want to lick her panties. Oh, is this a 10 out of 10 show yet? How many more times do we have to say lines like this for you to fucking upvote us on Reddit, guys? Shut up, show. Shut up. I'm so not good.
So I'm guessing Masamune never knew that about his stepmother of like 3 days or
Yeah,
however
like
long it
fucking
took
3
before he
days or some
died.
shit.
Because otherwise it would have made it pretty fucking obvious that that her daughter was Eromanga.
True. Incidentally, I did want to ask though, why the fuck did this woman marry his dad? How the fuck did they meet and like get married? This is not addressed at
hell
all,
knows?
but I find it very hard to believe that a stinky neat like her mom would ever manage to finagle what seems to be a competent man like Dad Samune.
No.
Yes, that is him.
Oh god.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Jesus.
They met somehow.
Nate.
They fell in love. What?
You probably use printers a lot more than I do. So tell me,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the specific printer error they get when he's trying to print out all of?
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's just printing pages, and then it just like gets halfway through a page and just stops, and they're like,
Okay, you know, like the
I was like, what printer error is this?
I like that we're really getting deep into the criticisms on this shit now. The printer error. I do have a printer that I use sometimes. And I have had, I think not this printer, but other printers like get stuck. Like it's like a paper jam, like the paper jam. Like that's the only way that a paper would ever stop like halfway through, which is pretty rare, TBH. So
And-
I'm gonna
and to
call
have-
this show out unrealistic printer errors. Bullshit.
Yeah. What does this say? This contact was so much more extensive. Yeah, the contact between the two of them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
seriously, if we haven't emphasized this enough, they go, like... The fucking Sagiri and Masamune were talking for, like, a long time.
Yeah,
on
months at
Instant
least. Seemed
Messenger.
like months.
And granted, she lied and said that she was a college student and stuff.
Right.
But, like, yeah, they talked for a while. And it's implied that she was the only one who was reading his story. Like, she at least says so. She's like, I'm the only one who cares about your story. And he's like, no, other people will read it. But, like, in the beginning, she was, like, his first comment. She was the first one to draw a picture. Now, here we get to the end of the episode. This is where everything starts breaking for me. Because this episode, again... While I don't think it's the strongest episode of the show, episode 8 was better directed and paced and everything. And,
Yep.
And it was like an actually like kind of good show. This one was just interesting in that it gave the character so much more fucking depth that it will never do anything with.
It just reminded me of what we've been lacking this whole time. That's really what I was feeling watching this episode.
It just was like, why didn't we know these things before?
Yeah,
Why have we taken 11 episodes to find out stuff that would have made these characters a lot more endearing or interesting?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And we knew instantly, so...
And that doesn't feel like it connects with them now. Like, it'd be different if this recontextualization made me look back at old episodes and be like, oh, I guess they're not so bad after all. But it's not really like that, because they don't feel like the same characters that they were as kids. They were just more interesting back then, you know? Or there's a more interesting story to be told in the time between then and now than the story that we're telling now,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But here's where this episode dropped the ball in a big way.
Okay.
Which is where the two characters, as kids, they become really inspired by one another.
Oh,
and Masamune is like, oh, I'm going to become a professional author because you inspired me with your art. And he says, you should go pro too. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go pro. So I'm never going to contact you again. Not until both of us go pro.
Listen.
Nate.
Yeah.
Tell me exactly what is the literal only reason that this would happen, Nate?
Geez, I don't know. Maybe so we could have this retarded fucking storyline that happens in this fucking show that doesn't make any sense on any level. God, what were they? Okay, like you see anime characters do this sometimes. They just act like they make up their own rules for like shit they have to do for themselves. Like the whole thing before about like when they were having that contest in like the Budokai, like, oh, if I lose, I'll never fucking write another book. Nigga, no one's forcing that shit on you. You're making that up for yourself. Why are you so fucking stupid?
I mean, that part of it, like, yeah, that shit's dumb and it's annoying, but you can do that well. Bakuman did it amazingly. Main character in his...
That was consistently my least favorite part of Bakuman, incidentally. But I mean, I was on board. Like, he was committed, and they would talk. At least they were like basically human beings.
Well, that's the thing, is that the story would put them in situations where they had to break the arrangement because it's just not realistic that they were never gonna talk for 10 fucking years. But, like...
Can we talk about how people... I mean, if you don't talk to someone for 10 years, they're basically not even real anymore. And don't listen to fucking Bakuman. Bakuman is the worst... That's the worst thing. Don't fucking do it, anybody. Bakuman is retarded. It's shit. It's a 0 out of 10.
But
it's
the point of it...
Everything else
The point of it is to be this narrative carrot on a stick that we're chasing throughout the story. That we understand that these characters... They're gonna get what they want if they can achieve this goal. You know?
That's right.
And Eromanga... continually tries to set things up in the same way, but it always does it in this bizarre ass-backwards manner. And in this case, like, the reason for this to have happened, like, we didn't establish this at any point before. If we had known this about the characters going in, then we would appreciate this dramatic irony over the course of the story that, like, oh, they don't realize that they're the ones who inspired each other. And then, you know, when they finally get back in contact again, it'll be like, oh my god, it was you all along, you know?
Because, like, it's only through genre savviness that I, you know, knew everything that was going to happen from the first moment of the show. So, like, yeah, it was, like, a sort of mystery. And, like, to most people, things are being revealed here that they wouldn't have expected.
Yeah. But the thing is that by revealing this now, where we already know... like, that these two were those two. We already know everything. There's no big reveal here of, like, something we didn't see coming.
Right.
So all you see in it is, oh, this is a fucking excuse so that they wouldn't have talked to each other for the last 5 years. Because if they had been talking to each other since then, it would have been painfully obvious who they were. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if Masamune had met her and they had still been in contact, then they would have been... talking online, and they would have found out about each other like instantly.
By the way, fucking Sagiri, like, no, like, the only one in the dark here is Masamune. Sagiri knows everything. She knows exactly who this dude is. Like, so, like, oh, first of all, like, why don't you fucking say something, you stupid bitch? But putting that aside, like, what the fuck is she thinking when, like, her mom marries a dude and, like, it's this guy? What's going through her fucking noggin when this dude walks through the door and it's fucking him? I mean, did she know when she, like, first saw him?
I'm unclear about that.
I don't know
if she knows it's him.
When did she figure it out? Because she obviously knew from the start of the show. Weird shit,
Did
dude.
she? Did
Wait,
she know from the... I guess she...
When did they find out?
Yeah, I guess she must have known he was writing the book. All right, here's where this goes beyond the impossible for me, Nate.
Okay. I'm ready.
Because I think it was implied at the end there that he has not yet realized that she's the same girl.
Yeah, yep. Well, there was
Even
like some
after
weird
this...
hints. There were like some weird subtle things, like they do the fist bump that was referenced when they were kids when they like made the agreement. But it's really not clear, and I do not believe this man is intelligent enough to make the connection.
Because at the end, she's about to like I think what she was about to say is she was about to reveal it to him, but then he gets distracted by the special surprise that we'll talk about. At the end of the episode. So I think she was about to say, like, by the way, I'm that person, and I was like, how at this point could he feasibly not know that?
The vacant look on his face is so good. It's so wonderful for this fucking shit. But yeah, go on.
Because in this episode, she quotes him a bunch of stuff from his old story.
Yeah.
And he says, oh my god, you were reading that too? And I'm like, you only had one reader. You had one reader who drew you fan art, who talked to you in the chat, and you're not putting two and two together that maybe, just maybe, it's this girl who read your book and who draws for your books. And I mean, I can't even.
I mean, maybe he's with me, and he's just like, the odds of that are so astronomical that my fucking dad would fall in love with her mom and they'd fucking marry. There's no way it's the same person. I don't know, dude. It's just such a baffling choice. I mean, it's not baffling. They're just shit. They're just shit writers. Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Set up like the most hackneyed twists. It's not a twist. I knew it all from the start. It's garbage. It's shit.
If it had been that he had, like, a bunch of readers at the time and she was just the one who sent him fan art, but, like, she accuses him at that point of, like, I'm the only one who reads your stories. Like, I mean, it could just be a joke.
I think she was exaggerating a little bit, because they was talking about how he was gaining readers.
It just seems so unlikely that out of such a small pool of candidates for who could be the fucking person who sent in that fan art, and that she fits every single box of who it could have been. And they're talking about it. They're, like, discussing this whole period of their lives.
You know what really frustrates me about it? It's the fact that, like, okay, dude, given this situation, you know what a human being would do? A human being would say, okay, some evidence is mounting. Maybe I'll ask a fucking question of this person that I live with and talk to every day of my... Just say, dude, I know this is going to sound crazy. Are you that fucking dude who I fucking talked to and was best friends with? And she's like, dude, totally, that was all me. They're like, whoa, sick, bro. Just ask the question. Like, there's no rules against asking questions. It's like an anime, or in some shitty anime. There's like a rule that you can't do anything until you're 100% sure of exactly what it is you're fucking thinking or whatever. Yeah. It's like, it's another one of these fucking rules they're making for themselves. Oh, I can't fucking ask. That would, there is literally no reason why I can't ask, but I can't ask. What the fuck?
And like, the way she's talking in the conversation is as though, like she's talking with full awareness,
right?
That she's that person, and she's not trying to hide it.
No, not at all. She's super talking, blatant about it too. It's fucking bizarre.
She even says, like, "Oh, what happened to that confidence you used to have?" And and that doesn't trigger him to go, "Hey, come to think of it." Who would have known I had confidence back then?
That's when, like, the vacant expression starts. I think every time he's about to have, like, a realization or character development, instead he has a little stroke, and he just, like, loses it for, like, a good 30 seconds there. Yeah, it's, this man's damaged. Like the Joker, my favorite anime character. Fucking damn.
So yeah,
someone draw that. This guy damaged.
They really dropped the ball at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
And then at the very like he goes to the place and she's like halfway down the stairs.
Yeah.
And
she's trying.
And he's like,
she's trying.
"Oh my God, you left you can come out of the room now." And she's like, "Oh, this is the most I can do." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, she did this 2 or 3 times in the show already."
Yeah, I don't know why he's so
She
surprised
came downstairs to yell at Muramasa like 4 episodes ago.
This was totally
what the
flaccid.
Hell?
This was totally flaccid. We've seen this before. She should be like outside or something. Like, this is a big moment, and they fucked it up because she's done this before. It's
as they've
strange.
done several times. Like in episode 4, where she just steps out of the bedroom, and like we were like, we know she goes out of the bedroom.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
That's right.
She meets him at the door every time. Like, her crossing that threshold is not impressive.
Yep.
Yeah, they haven't built it up correctly, and like, we've seen her at that exact spot on the stairs before. Like maybe a couple steps down from where she was.
Dude,
like,
I'm telling
whatever,
you, this should have been the moment. Like, this is episode 11, all right? It's time to stop fucking around. She should have been, he's walking home, he's thinking about, oh, what a fun time I had with my sister. He comes over the hill, he's looking at the entrance to his door. What the fuck does he see? But at the entrance, it's her, like, just struggling. She's like shaking. She's like, yeah, I'm fucking standing outside the door. And he's gonna be like, holy shit, she's like outside. This is huge. That would have been a big emotional impact, but they fucked it up. Fucking idiots. Maybe next episode we'll get that. It's got to happen sometime, right?
I'll give them, though, that at least they did the opening and closing right, where at the very beginning she's struggling to say welcome home, and at the very end she manages to say welcome home. At least they know basic structure. Dude, Nate, there's one...
Wait. Before, I gotta make a joke. I really liked when she said "welcome home," and you heard that. We could have been on our but you weren't now get in the ground. Yeah, it was good. I like that cameo of Claudio in this episode. Okay. Go on, dude.
I have no idea how off the sync is going to be.
It's going to be a nightmare for sure.
So, Nate, tell me about what happened to you at the end of this episode.
All right, team. Okay. All right. So during like what is the emotional climax of this episode, where the two they're just reveling in, like, they've been to the store, they've seen their books, they're just like, yes, we're doing it, like, we're going fucking pro, we've really made it. Like, to lock that in. To lock in that feeling, we get a little scene of some fans talking about, like, just kind of speculating, like they're big fans, like, oh, hey, it's a new light novel out, like, ooh, is it going to be good? Is it going to be shit? Ooh, we've seen his last work, this is a big change, this is interesting, but, like, they're sort of basking in it as, like, yeah, we've made it, dude, we're fucking pros now, this is what it's like to be a pro. But the way in which they choose to deliver this message... So up the escalator. Let's stop fucking around here. It's the whole crew. It's the whole Ore-imo fucking crew. Just comes up the escalator and hits you like a fucking brick wall in the face. Oh my god. I'd like to, if I can, I was thinking about this. I'd like to recreate my exact emotional and auditory response when I saw this coming. Okay, so here we go, folks. Here we go. This is what I did. No! Kill me! Let me die! All right, so
Nate,
yeah.
Wait, you mean to tell me nobody spoiled this for you all the last 5 days?
I had heard rumblings, but I just turned myself off, and by the time we got here, I totally had, like, blocked it out. I totally blocked it out. And I had totally forgotten this was coming up, and when I saw it, oh my god, it was nuts, dude. It was nuts. I lost my shit. Oh, man.
Now, just to check.
Yeah.
On a list of all the anime you've ever seen, where would you rank Ore no Imoto?
I'm sorry, that cut out. Where would I rank what?
Where would you rank Ore-imo?
That's... well, I'll tell you this. It is a special tier. It's in a separate category from pretty much every other anime I've seen. So there you go. It's a unique
Well, that leads
beast.
me to an important question, and I think this might be the time to answer it, because even though we still have an episode left, this happened in this episode.
Yeah.
Is Ore-imo worse to you than Eromanga-sensei?
There's no doubt about it. 100%. Yes. There's no comparison. This is like baby shit by comparison to what Ore-imo is to me. And I know it's a personal thing, I'm going to get into it.
Well, that's what's fascinating about it, because
Yeah.
we've had someone made a thing on my subreddit where they were like, oh, I think it'd be really interesting if you guys did Ore no Imoto or something, like, just to compare it against Eromanga-sensei and show how much better it is. And I responded, like, you realize that Nate hates Ore-imo more than anything else in the world, right?
This guy gets me. This guy knows what's up. Yeah, man. Now, this is lighting a fire under my ass. There will be some thoughts coming about Ore-imo in a detailed way pretty soon. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to come soon, huh?
Well, okay, you know what? I can't promise that, because I have some plans. But you will see. If you're patient people, go seriously, subscribe to Best Guy Ever if you want the follow-up to the end of this story here. It will be there one day.
Good to know.
Yep, no doubt. So I did want to say though, I did just to tangibly address like what they're doing there is like it's so this more than just showing the characters. What they're doing is they're like I said, this is like the big emotional climax where this is like the clincher. Like we have made it, we are pros, and we're washing it. Like they choose to deliver this through like obviously like our favorite characters, our favorite like fans of anime. They choose the ones that they think will be like special and be like, whoa, like these guys like with their work. This makes them like real dudes because we care about these characters. And not every character in Ore-imo's a bad character, but it's just like aggrandizing and like celebrating Oroimo. And incidentally, I'm very curious. There's no answer to this question, but I'm very curious. Like, at what point in time these characters from Oroimo like exist? Like, which version, which episode number character are these? Are the Oroimo characters? If it's after the end,
all 4 of them are hanging out together. So
there is no way. There's no way it's at the end of the show. It's impossible. But yeah, it's probably pretty early on. But if the writer could tell me, I'd really like that. I'd really like to know.
I mean, this was in place of a credit sequence in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, this was a like no ending theme, credits over the ending of the episode, and like epic music, dramatic reveal of the cast of Oroimo.
Yeah,
which really puts the cast of Oroimo on a fucking pedestal.
Of course.
Like,
of course.
Like, I mean, it's one thing to have these characters in the background and showing up and everything, but this scene makes it out like, yeah, that's right, the motherfucking or it's like if Kamina had showed up in Kill La Kill. Like,
it's like, exactly like that. I mean, that could never compete to like a reveal like this. Let's be honest. But it'd be pretty good. It'd be pretty good. Yeah, but, man, what? It's fucking crazy. And they're really saying like, it's like from on high. They like ascend, like Kirino literally floats onto screen like a fucking angel, just like gracing us with her divine presence. It's nuts, man.
By the way, I had been laughing about how they had hired Kana Hanazawa to say like one line in an episode before.
Oh, she had some lines. Yeah.
Yeah, she has a few. But the main guy from Oroimo, literally just grunts. He just goes like, huh? And I'm like, did they really hire his voice actor to come in and grunt once for this show?
Dude, that moment was magical. Because you know what that was? He looks back, we're looking from the perspective of our main character here. There's an eye contact there. What we're seeing a passing of the torch. We're seeing a man taking up the mantle. The light novel mantle and carrying it on into a glorious future. And I'm just happy to be part of the ride. I'm happy to bear witness to this fucking magical moment. Loved it. 10 out of 10. I want to die.
Jesus Christ.
I want to
carrying
die.
the Olympic torch of light novels.
That's
All right, everybody. Right. There's only one episode left, so there's only one more week of Eromanga-sensei every week. But Nate and I have... we already have another show like this on the Procrastinators channel about Rick and Morty, where we're going to do every episode of season 3 of Rick and Morty, called Ricksty Minutes.
Incidentally, everyone's been giving a shit for that was actually an episode title, but fuck it. It's
well, I knew that's the idea.
Oh, you did? See, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's the episode where they watch TV all episode.
Good episode.
It was, yeah. So that's why Jesse came up with it, I assume. But... I understand why it's confusing for them because the way the title's laid out, it looks like just 2 episode titles.
Okay. Yeah, man.
So we might have to fix that. But anyways, yeah, that's out. So go listen to we talked about the first episode of season 3. That'll continue whenever season 3 actually starts, which we have no idea when that'll be. And we'll talk about whether or not we do another one on anime at the end of the next episode. But yeah, that's out. Okay. So go look at that. And also all the shit that we filmed at your fucking house, man.
Yeah, everybody.
The Bestie Boy channel has like 8-9 Let's Plays that we recorded. So go watch those too.
I think the very last one is coming out tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Yep. And that's it. See you later. Bye.
Bye.